Honda Shadow 750. I used to actually own one of these. This one's a little newer. But we got a carb leaking issue, fuel line leak or something like that. So we're going to be getting into that today. First thing I had to do was take off the seats there. I think it was like a 12 millimeter, 10 millimeter bolt there, and then some 13s or 14s. This is a one-piece seat, so that popped off. I had a 10 millimeter here to pull the gas tank off. This is the vent line to the gas tank, and this goes to the gas tank petcock valve, and then this is your fuel line. They're held on, tank pulls out from these. So now we're going to take off the air box. We've got an 8 millimeter there, 8 millimeter here. Be careful because there's some little spacers right there, and they're probably going to fall out. Don't lose those. I've taken off my hose clamp here, and we'll take this off. Goes to your valve cover. And I probably should have one more of them at least. I guess we got our throttle adjuster down there. We'll take that off too. Anyway, we'll get to that and we'll pull this carb off. Alright, so to get the carb off, we've got a hose clamp right there, the Phillips head. Make sure if you're doing this, if you need to, look at all your lines where they go. You've got one of your wires holding on here. It goes up to there. You got a vacuum line here. If you can do this without tearing any of this off, that'd be good. Obviously that one's all the way down. That one's got about 1/4 of an inch, but just kind of keep an eye on that stuff. And this is a fuel enrichener when you first start it. And so we'll take this carb off with that. The idle adjust just slipped on out. I did notice there's a lot of fuel in here when I did this, so we got some kind of issue. Alright, this one I'm going to try and leave actually on the bike. I've already popped all my screws loose. I'm going to take that off. I've got 2 lines right there. If I was going to take off, I need to make sure where those go. Like I said, just kind of take a look at everything. Anyway, I'm going to pop the bottom of that bowl off and check it out. Well, that don't look too good down in there. I went ahead and took that linkage off. It's got a little bitty washer with a cotter pin. I'll go back and do that. But yeah, that's probably part of his problem. He's probably got some jets clogged because that's crap. I mean, just crap. Probably need to figure out. We'll have to rebuild all that. We might have to take this carburetor all the way out. But we got some issues there. Anytime this thing don't idle right too, you got a bunch of crap. You want to pull this thing up. There's a vacuum on it. Check that needle in there and make sure there ain't a lot of crud. If a bike's sat for a long time, you can actually see right there where it sits. It developed crud, and when it goes to take off, it'll flood out because you won't have a mist. You'll have droplets. So make sure and check that out. We're going to take them jets out of there. We're going to take this bowl off of here, the float, where it took the bowl off. Anyway, we'll get to cleaning that out. Alright, I'm putting the carb back together. I cleaned the needle off as a rubber tip. I just use my fingers a lot of time, a little bit of crud on it. I use a drill bit there, and I went backwards in my seat. I put a little bit of Honda Bond on the gasket here, so I'm going to put it back together, and before I actually put everything back in the bike and the bike back together, I'll show you how I test it and make sure it ain't leaking.